Okay, we are going to look at factorizing quadratics. This is a question, the example on page 41 of your GCSE workbook at Excel. Our question says solve x squared minus x equals 12. So our very first step that I've done here is I've made it into x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. Why did I do that? Because whenever we're factorizing quadratics, we must have our basically this formula where we have ax squared plus or minus, of course, bx plus or minus c. So we have to have this number here on this side of the equal sign, and then we say equal to 0. So I moved my 12 over by subtracting 12 on one side to get rid of this one. And so I could have 0. If you subtract on one side, you have to subtract 12 on the other side, which is how I got it here. So that's that step done. Our next step that we have to do is when we're factorizing, we make our brackets and we put x in it. So we've done that one. Now we have to we're going to look at this 12. When you're looking at that 12, we have to think what times what is going to give us 12, basically. So we look at our 12, our C, and what we're going to do is we are going to list the factors of 12. It's 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. We're going to look at these. This is how we get this number. Now we're going to say, to get the middle number, to get this middle, please pen work, to get this middle number, we add or subtract. So we're going to look at these and think to ourselves, what could I add or subtract to get, remember, if you remember, this is actually a 1. So I have to add or subtract my factors from my 12 to get a 1. So 12 plus or minus 1 would give me 13 or 11. So that's not going to help. 6 plus or minus 2 is going to give me 8 if I add them, or 4 if I subtract them. That's not going to help. 3 and 4, that will help. 4 minus 3 is going to give me 1. Or I could say 3 minus 4 is going to give me 1. So this is the one we want. Now, where do they go? At first, it doesn't matter. We're just going to pop them in. Okay? Because when we do, remember, we're looking at FOIL. When we do our first, it's going to be x times x is x squared. Cha-ching. That's going to be that. Then I'm going to say my outside. I'm going to have x times 4 will give me 4x. But do I want it positive or negative? I don't know yet. Those are my outside. Then I'm going to do my inside. My inside is going to give me 3x. And then my last is going to give me 12. Do you see how I'm getting closer and closer to this sentence, math sentence? Now, what are the signs? I need this to be negative. I need this to be negative because, hang on, maybe not, just a sec. I need, this to be negative. So I need my bigger number to be negative so that when I subtract them, I get a negative 1. So I'm going to make my 4 negative. Why? Because when I subtract them, remember I have x squared here, when I subtract negative 4 plus 3, I'm going to have 1 left over. I need my signs to be different because when I multiply them together, I get a negative here. And we know another thing we need to remember is when we multiply a positive and a negative, we get a negative. So I'm going to make this positive. Let me erase my thinking here and do FOIL now to double check my answer. I think I'm actually done. Let's double check my answer. So I'm going to do my first, which is x times x is x squared. Then I'm going to do my outside right here, my outside, which is negative 4 times x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Then I've got to do my inside. My inside is positive 3x. And then I do my last, which is positive 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12, equals 0. Now we collect like terms. There's only one x squared, so we rewrite that. But these both have x, so we're going to collect those together. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. We can put the 1, but we don't normally. X minus 12 equals 0. So I've checked. This is the exact same as this. So I am correct. So now I'm going to, so my teacher knows, circle my answer. This is my answer, x plus 3 and x minus 4. Oh, but that would be if it asked me to factorize. If it asks you on a test to factorize, then you're done. But if it asks you to solve, you're not done. So now we have to solve. So x plus 3, what we do is we do one term at a time, equals 0. Therefore, x equals negative 3. Remember, I transpose my 3 to the other side, then we change the sign. And I have x minus 4 equals 0. So x equals 4. Put it over to the other side. If it asks you to solve, you have to find two x's. X equals negative 3, x equals 4. Now you're done.